Hello and welcome back. In this video, I will discuss Kotatsu table heaters. While everyone is under the impression that Amazon has everything, Kotatsu table heaters are actually pretty hard to find. There's not many options to choose from. I will compare two models that I bought off of Amazon. This first one is more expensive, but offers quite a few benefits. The second model is cheaper, but there are a few sacrifices. For one, it supports only one size, 29cm by 29cm, which is the standard size for a Kotatsu table heater. The back of the box provides instructions on how to attach the heater to the table. It's pretty straightforward. Now let's contrast this against the first model. This model supports three sizes, 29cm by 29cm, 33cm by 29cm, and 33cm by 33cm. Now let's look at the contents. First, we have the power cable. Here's the screws used to attach the heater. Here's the rails for extending the heater to accommodate the 33cm sizes. Next, we have the heater. Finally, there's an instruction manual. It's in Japanese, so it's of limited use here. Examining the heater itself, please excuse the dust. The heater comes clean, but the surface is a fuzzy texture that attracts dust. The backside is actually the top. I presume that this metallic surface acts like a radiant barrier to minimize the heat that gets transferred through radiation. As for the sides, we have first the side with the cable connection. Note that this one has 3 prongs. Next, we have the two sides with the mounting holes. There's 2 sets of mounting holes for either 29cm or 33cm holes. Now let's take a look at the second model. First, we again have the power cable. This one seems a bit different compared to the first one. Next, we have the mounting screws, identical to the first model. Finally, we have the heater. There's also the instructions manual. The surface of this heater is the same fuzzy material. It feels like microfiber and feels very nice to the touch. Here we see some big differences. Instead of the 3 prongs on the other model, this one has 2, and it also has a dial for adjusting the heat. Also notable, this model only has 1 set of mounting holes, so this Kotatsu table heater is strictly only for standard 29cm by 29cm sizes. Now, one big thing to note is that the first model is quite a bit thinner than the second model. This could make a difference if you tend to bump your knees against the top of the table. The first model would give you more room. Comparing the power cables, they both have a very nice braided sheathing material. However, the power cable for the first model comes with a remote that lets you switch the heater on and off, as well as set the heat level. Now, compared to the second model, the power cable with 2 prongs has a toggle switch to turn the heater on or off, but to adjust the heat, you'd have to reach under the table to adjust the dial. Now, the plugs on both power cables look like they'd fit in a US power outlet, and they do. However, it is important to note that Japan runs on 100 volts, whereas the US uses 120 volts. While plugging this into a US power outlet won't break the heater, do keep in mind that the power in the US is higher than what the heater is designed for. So if you want to plug this in directly, to be safe, don't set the heater on high heat. Alternatively, you can buy a Japan-US power converter like this. The back has a toggle for setting the input voltage as 120 volt US or 100 volt Japan. This should be set to 120 volts if you live in the US. On the other side, we have the output voltages. We'd plug the heater into the 100 volt outlet like so. Alright, now I'll show how to install this Kotatsu table heater. I will be using the first model and installing it into a Kotatsu table that has a 33cm by 33cm center hole. Thus, I will be using the last configuration from the back of the box. First, I attach the rails to the sides of the Kotatsu table heater. Note the arrows on the rails. I match them up with the picture. I orient the components exactly as they are shown on the box to avoid any confusion. The rails come with small screws used to attach them to the heater. I align the holes and screw the screws in. I feel for the screw on the other side. If I can feel it poking through, then I know I've screwed the screw into the hole. Done with this rail, onto the other one. As you may be aware, I have been making Kotatsu tables. What makes them special is that they are heated. Thus, a Kotatsu table wouldn't be a Kotatsu table without a heater. Now that I've attached the rails, it's time to attach the heater to the table. I remove the tabletop from the table and the heater cover from the center of the table. Here's the 4 screws. I flip the heater so that the metallic surface is pointing up. Also, this is the power connector. I make sure to orient this face with the side in the table with a cutout. Now I just align the screw holes and screw the 4 screws in. Now I place the heater cover back on. At this point, you would put a comforter over the table and then the tabletop over the comforter. I omit the comforter. Now I plug the power cable in. Separately, I plug the power converter into the wall and I plug the power cable for the Kotatsu table heater into it. Then I turn on the power converter. Now I use the remote to turn on the heater and adjust the heat. I hope this video will help give you the information you need to make an informed purchase. I will provide links to the Kotatsu table heaters on Amazon in the description. Thanks for watching.